Hello and welcome to What the Hey, where I'm your regular host of What the Hey, and today on What the Hey, I'm once again answering yet another question. When I go into the magical composition book of knowledge, I see the question of, how the hey do you make a cartoon show? Now this question was asked by Mr. 2007, so hello to you and thank you very much for the question. So first off, I wanted to say that I'm really not the person who should probably be answering this question, because I've never made a full-blown cartoon show. So to answer this question, I just got a bunch of general opinions and stuff online from people who have actually done cartoon shows, like their basic way of doing it. So all of this is coming from people who actually know what they're doing, not me. I guess the only valid opinion that I have with any of this is that I like to do art, so I kind of understand some of what I'm going to say, but anyways, let's actually get to answering the question. So first and foremost, I would say that the most important thing to making a cartoon show is coming up with the idea for it, whether that be the plot, characters, or the setting, because you're not going to have a show without an idea behind the show. And the idea for the show could really be anything. It just has to be solid enough to where it's in a show format if you want to make it a multiple kind of episode thing. So it just depends on how you want to do it. But you can really make a show about anything. So I'm going to say that the next two steps are kind of interchangeable. You can kind of do it however you feel or want. You need to create a storyboard for your cartoon show as well as a script. Some people are different in the way of they like to make the art and the storyboard for their show before actually making the script. I would say going with making a script first is better, because then you actually know what you're gonna be drawing and all that. So it's honestly up to you with what you want to do there. The next step that I would say is important, depending on how you want to make your cartoon show, is getting art supplies. If you're strictly doing an animated cartoon show, you may not want to draw all your stuff out traditionally beforehand, but some people like to draw their stuff out traditionally and then transfer it onto a digital format, so that's kind of up to you. But either way, getting supplies to create your show is important. Speaking of supplies, getting an animation program is pretty important for cartoon stuff, so it doesn't necessarily have to be something expensive. You just find what works for you, and if you need a tablet or something to do your animation with, there you go. But it just honestly depends on the budget, if you even have one, and how you want to do things. This step kind of goes back to doing storyboard stuff, but doing rough drafts of all the scenes and stuff is important, because then you can go back and change stuff if you need to, but having a basic idea of what you're doing for certain scenes or an entire episode is important. And then when you're through with doing the rough drafts and the outlines, you can actually get to finalizing your art. That can kind of be tricky, because if you're adding color and backgrounds, it's all going to take a long time. Then again, making a cartoon show generally does take a long time, so I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. And then when you're through with the animation and the art, you can go ahead and add music and dialogue to your show to make it more interesting, depending on how it's formatted and how you want it to be. Another tip that could possibly help speed up the process entirely is having an entire team behind the cartoon show. A team doesn't necessarily have to be a group of people who have dedicated their life to art and have gone to some esteemed art institute. It could be literally just your friends. But having other people to share the workload and help with the project definitely does speed everything up. And lastly, and I would almost argue that this is the most important tip to making a cartoon show, tell people about it. As far as I know, cartoon shows are made so that other people can watch them, so getting people excited about the project and letting people know it actually exists is very important. So that's essentially the answer to the question. So if you have any questions, let me know and I'll get to answering them as soon as I can. So thank you so much for watching. Bye!